All right, let's do this. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I am Kangai. Are we recording sound? Yes, we are. I always forget to record sound, or somehow I forget, sorry, tossing a wet wipe. I always forget to either record sound or either record video. So today we are trying out the new Fenty foundations, or rather they aren't new. They came out last year, I think before this summer even. I got a chance to grab onto them. I think this could be the latest review, in my opinion. I think this could be the last or most procrastinated review because I've been trying, okay, not trying, I've wanted to do this for a while, but I haven't got a chance to do that until now. But I thought, you know, better late than never. Sorry, this is really bugging me. I don't know why. So as you already can see, I've already done my eyes and my eyebrows. For my eyes, I used the Makeup Addiction Flaming Love palette, and yeah, my face is clean, it is exfoliated, and it isn't moisturized because I wanted to do a little bit of swatching. So let's just jump into it. But before we begin, if you are new here and you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button and also click the notification bell so that you can be personally notified when I do upload a video in the future, because I am planning on uploading quite a number of videos for you. So yeah, let's just jump into the video. All right, let's just start with the foundations. I have two shades here because I used kind of like the shade finder, and I'm an NW47 when it comes to MAC, and the equivalent in the Fenty foundations is 430 neutral. So I got two foundations. I have 440 and 430. I actually have tried these before, and not on camera, but I have tried them before just to play with them. And I have found that Fenty actually does not have my shade, in my opinion. After looking, like if you look at my chest right here, I am mostly neutral. So I'm not too pink and I'm not too yellow, but that's just here. Depending on the season, depending on the temperature, depending on whether I'm PMSing, depending on whether I've had extra Cheetos or extra Oreos or whatever, my skin can actually turn a little bit more red. So on my face only, and then my chest here just remains the way it is, as you can see. Even though Fenty has extended their shade range, I find that they still haven't found my foundation shade. And the best person who put this into perspective was Jenny Jenkins, because she just recently released her Fenty concealer review, and her shade for her skin tone is 445 in the concealers, which doesn't exist in the foundations. All right, so let me just break down my range of shades when it comes to Fenty. So there's 420, 430 and 440 that would be the closest match to my skin tone. However, 440 is a little bit lighter also for my skin tone, because people like Monica Style Muse and Jackie Aina, that 420 is actually their shade. Okay, then there's 430 neutral, which is what I have here today, and it is meant for people with my skin tone but with golden or slightly yellower undertones. And you will see the swatch today, and I'll try to also, you know, use it on maybe a good chunk of my face so that you can see whether it matches or not. And then there's 440, which is meant for those of you with my skin tone but with warm undertones. In my opinion, 440 is a little bit too dark and red for my skin tone. 430 is a little bit too golden or too yellow for my skin tone. And 420, if I had it, would be too light for my skin tone. So what happens in such a case? Let's just try it out first before I, you know, continue chatting. So I'll start without any foundation or anything. I just want to play around with the shades, like on one side, and swatch it here as well as my chest so you guys can see. So that's 430 neutral. So I'm just saturating and painting down. Can you guys see that? It does have some really beautiful coverage though. Oh yeah, and by the way, another thing is that these foundations oxidize, and they oxidize it from what I have seen on my own skin tone. So that is 430 neutral, and then if I swatch it here, can you guys see that? It's a little bit, there you go. So that is 430 neutral. Okay, a little bit got on my shirt. Can you guys see that? All right, let's take 440. This has red undertones, so I'll just let you guys be the judge of that. So here it is. Can you guys see that? It's a little bit more pink, and I want to take it here. So there you have it. So this is 440 and this is 430. So let me see what it would look like if I just kind of spread it out a little bit. Can you see it's already oxidized? Like it's when it dries a little bit darker than your skin tone. Can you guys see that? So one thing that is on the Fenty website as far as advice is they actually tell you to get a shade lighter. So I actually might be 420, although this is looking like it's matching a little bit better than this. All right, let me just wipe this off and then moisturize, and then I'm gonna be back so that we can actually try the foundations. All right, so I am completely moisturized. So let's just jump into the Fenty Primer, and I have used this before in a number of videos, and I just think it smells like heaven, in my opinion. It smells so good. I think this is what all skincare should smell like. In terms of application, I want to use two different ways of application. Of course, I'm going to use a brush. I need to focus on you guys. Let me just find my brush first. I'm going to use a flat kabuki brush by Sigma, and I'm also going to use this guy, Juno Fuzzy Blender, and I'm going to mix equal amounts of both foundations. So 2 pumps of that. That's 440, and 2 pumps of 430. You see, I don't know if you guys can tell a difference. And it's really runny, as you can see. It's one of those foundations that actually dries really quickly. So I'm gonna start with one side of my face. And for this side, I'm going to use my Juno blender to push it into the skin. I'm not a fan of using beauty blenders, to be honest. But this does it work so fast. Wow. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I find these foundations like either they're too pigmented or it's just the wrong shade for me. I don't know. Like, can you see that? Like, I find that very strange, this shade. So I think this applies really well. And this sponge feels like heaven. It feels so good. Make sure you take it down. But as they say, because they're super pigmented, it should darken. So maybe my problem is I need to get 420 and see. What do you guys think? The one thing I do like, to be honest, is just how, oh, wow. I really like how it dries so fast. Actually, that could be a really good match. Can you guys see that? Oh, that actually could be a match. So for this side, I'm gonna use my kabuki brush. So you can, okay. As I'm applying, you guys can actually tell a difference between when it's wet and when it actually starts drying down. And I'll just show you guys in a second. Let me just get my jaw in first. So this is wet and this is a little bit dry. I can tell a big difference. So it does dry down and it does change color when it dries down. All right, so this is the brush area and then this is the sponge. I personally prefer the sponge, so I'm just gonna go back in and just perfect the brushed out area just so that I can feel, like, you know how Lisa Ashley says, like, whenever she does reviews and she says that she can see the difference between the side that she used the brush on and the side that she used a sponge on. Like, I used to be like, no, it looks exactly the same. Now I feel it. Now I understand how she has to go back in. This is not half bad. All right, let's go in with a little bit of concealing and a little bit of contour. What was that? All right, so we're going in with concealer. As I said, I don't have the concealers, so I'm gonna go in with my current favorite, which is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in shade 45. Okay, then I'm going in with number 30 just to add a tiny bit of brightness on top of that, and I'm just taking it right there only. And then lastly, my contour is my current favorite contour stick, which by now y'all should know of. All right, I'm gonna go back in with my Juno sponge just to blend out the highlight, and it actually likes concealer. It really likes this concealer. Of course, my major concern when it comes to foundations is how well they cover up my issues. I have acne and acne prone skin. I have acne scarring. So I love full coverage. So I am looking for mostly the coverage all day and looks like super flawless from morning to like nighttime without me having to go in and really like, you know, of course, and shade inclusion. The one thing that I will let you guys know is that this foundation dries super fast, so blending anything on top of it can become tricky. So if you look at my face now, the reason I like the Maybelline concealer is that it's mostly neutral. So as you can see, it's not too yellow, not too pink, it's right in the middle. Okay, you guys have seen me doing this a lot. To set under my eyes, I'm gonna go in with my Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC, and this is in the shade Dark. I don't like baking and I don't like translucent powders. All right, just kind of making sure my ring holds, and then I'm pushing it into the skin, really pushing it. I'm using an e.l.f. blush brush because I find that it fits right here for my skin. All right, rather for my face, it fits very well. Are you seeing what sort of finish that creates? It's just such a pretty finish, and it also lasts. To set my contoured and bronzed areas, I'm going in with my Cover FX powder in N110, and it's a really pretty color. And I'm taking a big powder brush or complexion brush by e.l.f. and I'm just really buffing that in. And if you also know me, I don't like a serious contour. Like, I'm not one of those people who goes in and contours, which is fine if that's what you like, but I don't find that too natural looking for my personal face and my taste. Then going in with my same brush but with NW45 by MAC, just to marry everything together. And I'm just gonna go over everything. So this foundation mixture is not so bad. And then I'm gonna go in with my still NW45 and a fluffier brush. And I just wanna clean up this area just to blend it in and create kind of like a contour. It's a very, very, very slight contour. Blending it down. And I'm just using the actual side of the brush to do this. All right, so for blush and highlight, I'm gonna go in with the Killawatt highlight slash, duo. This is Ginger Binge and Moscow Mule, and they're like a nice, beautiful rosy. And I'm just gonna go in first with Ginger Binge with this same brush. Actually, I might not need to even. Ooh, oh wow. Okay, that's all I'm gonna use. It's such a pretty. That's so, gosh, I never knew I could highlight my face because I have got scarring, as you can see. Oh, that is pretty. Can you guys see that? Oh, wow. Even with my skin that has acne, scars, and all that, I actually don't mind it, actually, now that who gives a flying rat's ass? It looks pretty. Isn't that pretty? All right, let me do my lower lash line and then I'll come back to do lips with you guys. So give me a second. All right, so I have the wig on. Wigs just make such a huge difference, don't they? They really do. Anyway, so I have the wig on and I want to grab something for the lips. And I wanted something neutral. So of course I want to go in with the Fenty Gloss Balm and the original shade just on its own. The color is really pretty, I have to give it that, but other than that, I don't think it's something to write home about because there's so many brands with colors that are similar to this, but it's Fenty. This is a Fenty tutorial. All right, so that's the entire look together. Let me back up just so you guys can see. All right, guys, so we are done finally with this application review sort of a thing. And let's just jump into my thoughts on the foundations. The first thing is that in as much as Fenty did come out with 50 shades of foundations and also concealers, and yes, they were one of the first, if not the first brand to have a very strong focus on women of color, or people rather of color, which I commend them on, I still can't find my shade. And that has been an ongoing issue for me for the longest. And I had to actually mix 2 shades to get this result. I mixed 430 and 440, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, I explained the reasoning why I had to mix both of those foundations. And or rather in an age of inclusivity and in an age of representation, in an age where, being inclusive is now the buzzword, it is the thing to be doing as a brand, the fact that I still can't find my shade is also still troubling just a little bit. And I'm not the only one who has had this problem. People like Jenny Jenkins has. When she reviewed the foundation, I think sometime last year, she got a lot of flack for that. She got a lot of, hate for the fact that she came out to say that she couldn't find her shade and that she had to finesse it. So if we still have to finesse it, there's still an issue. There's still some work to be done. There's still work to be done, actually. On the plus side, this foundation has an amazing, beautiful finish. As you can see, I have oily, acne prone, acne scarred, very textured skin, as you can see. And for me, I look for foundations. The number one thing I'm looking for is coverage. So it actually has to cover all of my issues. And the second thing I'm looking for is the finish. So I look for foundations that have a lot of coverage and have a matte finish, because that also helps in the longevity of the foundation, so that I don't have to worry about, something that's dewy, that yes, it has great coverage, but since it's dewy and since it's, it gives me that, inner life, which I can, replicate with extra product like highlight, which is what I want to do personally, then that sort of foundation has no use for me. So that is the one thing I will commend this product on. When it comes to availability, finding this product for me was rather difficult. I remember I actually bought this, or rather I had to search for this over the course of 1 year, because buying it online in Sephora or Ulta or wherever else it is stocked online, they don't accept Kenyan credit cards, so I would have to have an American or Canadian or European or Australian credit card in order to purchase the product. So that's the one hurdle that I found was very difficult for me in order to buy this product. So I literally had to fly to Australia, where I got 440, because at the time 430 was out of stock. This was in January, February last year, so it's been actually a year. And then I got 430 when I flew to the States, and I got that in LA, and that was in March last year. So yeah, it took me a year to do this review, but we're not gonna focus on that part. Coupled with that, if you cannot find your own shade, especially because there's no store that you can physically walk into in order to kind of test and see what shade you are, it also makes buying it, or even sending a friend to get it for you, or you figuring out a way to get it online, it makes it a little bit tricky, because again, especially for me, finding my exact shade was difficult. The match for NW45, which is my shade in my opinion, and which is weird because NW should be more pink, but in some very strange reason NW45 for me remains neutral. Sorry, NW47. So NW47 for me is more neutral than NW45, and it's a little bit darker, which matches my skin tone. Anyway, my match for NW47 is, what is it? 430 neutral in Fenty, and when I did finally find it, it ended up being too yellow for my skin tone. So again, finding your skin tone will be a little bit difficult. You can try matching it up to the beauty influencer that matches your skin tone. If you use products that they've used in the past and it matches your skin tone, then you can possibly go by the recommendation that they have for this product, and maybe that could work for you. Maybe it's not going to work for you, I'm not so sure. In terms of the price, I find that the price is comparable. It is okay. It is, for this quality of product and for the amount that you're getting, it's 32 mils of product. So normal foundations go for 30 mils, and this is, in my opinion, a mid to slightly high level, mid-level to high level sort of a product. So this is not your drugstore, this is not your cheaper product. This is, more expensive than MAC, but not as expensive as Chanel or YSL. So it's the pricing for the amount of product and for what it actually does, minus the shades, what it actually does for skin is actually really good. If you have dry skin, then you might want to prime with a very moisturizing primer, or you can even use an oil, something underneath the foundation, because it does dry very quickly and it does dry matte. If you have oily skin, this is beautiful for you because it just dries to this perfect, beautiful sort of finish that works very, very well for oily skin types. Would I recommend this foundation? Yes and no. If you can find your shade, hell yeah, definitely go for it. It works. It smells beautiful. It's another pro. It smells so beautiful. And another pro, it actually plays well with other products. So it played very well with the concealer, the Maybelline concealer that I put on top. Yeah, I definitely recommend this if you're looking for you know, a ride or die foundation. So I guess that is it for me. If you have watched this video this far, then take a look at the other videos that I have produced. Hopefully you're gonna like them. And if you've liked this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, just so that I can continue producing more videos for you. And if you're new, again, welcome to my little family here on the internet. And yeah, it is about midnight. I'm pretty good today. Normally I'd be here at 2 in the morning, but it's only midnight. So it's only midnight, so let me say good night, because tomorrow is a work day, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good day tomorrow. See you guys. Mwah.